Hi guys, so I said I wasn't going to do a tutorial video on a canvas and I got a lot of messages asking me to do it. I'm going to try here. I don't claim to be no pro at it, but I have made some beautiful ones. And this is the Alice in Wonderland one that I was talking about from before in the last video. I don't know how long it's going to take to do it, so we're going to wing it and see. I probably will do it in parts. We'll try not to let the parts go no longer than 15 minutes, just because. Yeah. All right. So the first thing I did is this is the blank canvas. The only thing that I've done on here is just sporadically painted the acrylic metallic paint. It's the Folk Art brand that I showed you guys in the last haul video. It's this one right here with a diamond on the top. That's all this is. It's a rose shimmer color. Wasn't trying to be specific on it. Just kind of painted over at random all over. Wherever the paintbrush went is where I painted it because I'm really going for just like that really rich background for it right now. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going to go back over it one more time and fill in a little bit darker in just a few places here. I really hate the glare, guys. So I'm just kind of painting over it. A little bit down here on the bottom. This canvas is really awkward. I'm used to working with the 8x10 size, honestly. So just random. Okay. Normally I would hit this with a little bit of heat, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm actually going to rinse this brush off though. And I'm going to go back in with a light color blue metallic paint that I have. Where did my cloth go? Really? There we go. Okay, so I have it now colored with the pink. I'm going to go back in with the metallic colored blue if I can find it, because there it is right here. This is the metallic colored blue. Same brand, Folk Art. Pick it up at Walmart. Look for the diamond on the top. Give it a good shake here because it's probably settled being in that bin over there. These little dishes right here are really good too. You can pick them up at Dollar Tree for your paint. And I normally just kind of throw it in there. Sometimes I mix them, sometimes I don't. With the same brush that I've rinsed off, I don't care if it has little traces of pink in it because this is going to be like a multicolored background anyways. I'm going to go right back over with the metallic. And you see I'm just kind of dabbling the paintbrush in probably about an inch or a half of an inch to an inch maybe on the brush. And I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to fill in those white spots that are on there just at random. Just trying to fill in the color basically. Give it a little bit of color. I don't know if you guys can see that. This glare in here is ridiculous. So I'm just going to keep going. Painting all over it. Not trying to be too careful. Not trying to be any of that. Just really, this is the fun of it. You just kind of fill in wherever you want to drag that brush across it. Just fill it in. Keep going, keep going. And I try to do it a little quickly because, you know, time reasons. So you see you're trying to get like a double effect now. See how it's looking? I hate that glare, y'all. I wish there was a way to, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do with that. I think the problem is I have the light over my head. So I'm just going to keep going. We're just going to wing it. And this paint, when it hits the canvas, it seems to dry pretty quick too. I mean, I'm sure the more of the elements I add on here, it's going to need the heat. You know what I mean? And for all of you ladies that use the heat gun, I use a hairdryer still. I have a heat gun. I've honestly never even taken it out. The hairdryer seems to work for me. You know, it's your preference. So I'm going to go back over. Down here at the bottom. You can't see that, but it's down at the bottom. See, we got a white corner. The white corner there. I'm just trying to fill that in. I'm not trying to be in any order with it. You know what I mean? You don't have to be an artist to slide paint across the canvas. Just wherever you want the color to go. Okay? Up here, throw in some blue. And I know a lot of Alice in Wonderland art is like mainly like the red and the white and the all of that. I always go a different spin. I've always gone a different spin. And you think about how many times that book has been rewritten, you know what I mean? And through the years with the movies and everything, I think it's the freedom. So, all right, so I think that's good. I've got it pretty well covered just on the front. You know, you can see it here. So now I want to go back in with, I thought about doing some texture on the background of it. I've got some really pretty lace that's here. Let me zoom out a little bit here so you guys can see my lace. I have some pretty lace that's here. I got a big wad of it here that I got from that store that I went to. So I thought about cutting some pieces of it off and laying it on here. But the problem that I have is my graphics haven't been Mod Podged on here yet. And I don't want to do that and then have it all bumpy under the graphics or, you know, under the art. So you see I have Alice. I have the teacups. I'm not using that. And then the drink me bottle. These are right here. These are going to go on there, but I got to figure out like where I'm going to place them. I could have the canvas go on long ways or I could do it short ways. And it's just trying to figure out where. My edges are still blank, so I'm not ready to add the art to that yet. But I do want some texture on the back of it. I really do. I really want texture on the back. It's just a matter of figuring out what. What do I want to use? Let's see. You guys know I talked to you about gauze, right? Like first aid gauze. This stuff is excellent for texturing stuff. I don't know if I want to use it on this yet. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. I want to go back over this with some black, I think. And the reason I say black is because I have a lot of black that's inside of the, you know, the outline of it. So I want to paint the edges of this canvas black. So I'm going to hold off on the lace for a second. Try to find my paint here. A big bottle of just regular acrylic black paint from Walmart, Apple Barrel brand. I'm going to stick that in here. I got people trying to message me and I am busy. You guys ever get that where you're trying to do something and people are just blowing you up? And it's like you send out the mass I'm busy text and they still are like, oh no, we still want to talk to you. There's nothing wrong with people talking to me, but I need to do this. So, all right, so this is the cover of it. And I mean, you can literally run your hands over it. It's just about dry. Such a thin coat. So I'm going to turn it on its side. Now, I'm pretty accurate with the brush. I don't need to put tape or anything on here to prevent it from going on the edges. I am going to turn it towards me because it seems easier to work. So I'm just going to go right across the side of it here as close as I can and paint that black. I don't know why, but the black border, I see so many people that do canvas art and they don't never paint the edges. And I'm different. You know, that's the joy of mixed media. You can just go in with it. So I'm not even trying to be careful at all, guys. I'm really not. If it goes on the front, it just goes on the front. Ain't no big deal to me. Because I'm going to have it covered up in a lot of ways anyways. So we got the black border going. Let me see. Paint it. I always try to bring what I'm working on towards me and paint away from it. A lot of people will paint away from your, you know, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's in there somewhere. You guys will figure it out. So I've got the border that's on here now. Black border. See that side? I'm going to do that on all four sides. I'm going to take it out of frame for just a second so that I can get it done really quick because I feel like if it's laying down, it's not going to be, it's going to take me longer. So I'm just going to continue to paint. Get all of my corners, you know, and the top of it done. That black is really pretty too. I like that black. Black just kind of gives it, to me, it just gives it a border. Okay, so I got that side. I'm going to flip it to the next side, and I'll lay it back down so you guys can see. I'm going to go this way. Ooh, my brush got a little stupid there. It's continuing to just fill in the back. I mean the side, the border of it. I buy my brushes at Walmart too. You can get a really nice pack there for like under $5. And they're easy to wash. They're for acrylic paint. I don't like that this brush is going a little crazy on me though. Let me switch that out. I don't like that. Let's go with a darker, what do I say? Less wide brush. This is a new brush too. Gosh, it's not wanting to take the paint. Fill it in. I ain't trying to be too careful either. If it goes on the front, I don't care. It just gives it more character to me. I think the problem I'm having is I need some more paint. Okay. Keep covering. Keep covering. Just keep covering your edge. Okay. And I think I got one more side to do. And you know what? It doesn't matter if it touched the surface that was dry. I mean, that was my mat here. I just go back over it. Because most of this is going to be covered up, you know. But I just want some color there. I just want some color there. All right. And here's the last side. I'll try to get that on there. And I know you guys are like, what are you doing? I'm painting the very top here. Give me just a second and I'll be able to lay it back down. I really like the black though. Okay, so now I have the black again. On all the edges is black. Yes, it kind of seeped in a little bit here, but it's all good. I don't stress over that little small stuff. One thing that I like to do is when I have the paint on my hands, this little bottle right here works really well. For alcohol to just take the paint right off of your fingers and then I'm not having to wash it. If you have an allergy to alcohol, then you definitely don't want to do that. But you could put you some soapy water in it and use it that way with like warm soapy water. It works really well, y'all. Seriously. Like I should go back and buy like a ton more of those bottles because I have this feeling that they're not going to be back in there again. It's like the greatest invention. I always seen those in the doctor's office too. So hold on. I have this thing about paint and ink. I can't stand to be marked on. Okay, so that's better than it was. Okay, so I have the corners done. I have the front of it done. I got a little bit of black paint here. I ain't sweating over that. It's not a big deal. Now I figure out where do I want my images to go because I want to put the images on there and then work around it. So I have a teacup set. I could place that here, and I know it's upside down to you guys, but just give me a second here. I could put that there. I could set her below the teacups, kind of have her at an angle like this, okay? And then maybe put the teacups ahead of it like that maybe. And actually I'd have to do it this way. Put the teacups above her. Because this was cut at a different angle. And then have this kind of like that, maybe. Maybe. That's the thing about it. Maybe I could do it like that. Everything's kind of topsy-turvy. I really kind of like her sitting at an angle, though. Can you guys see that? Let me zoom in a little bit. See how I have her sitting? And I know she's kind of hiked up there. But see, I really feel like I want to do... I think that's how I'm going to do it. I want her kind of at an angle. Because I really want to put something under there. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do that, yeah. Okay, so the canvas is still wet on the edges. I'm going to, let's see, we're at almost 15 minutes. I will, I really want to show you guys how to do this. All right, I'm going to let it go to 20 minutes, and then I will stop it, and then we will move on to the gluing and all of that. Maybe I can get it done in like 40 minutes, both parts. So let me find my Mod Podge. All these containers with everything in it. So insane. Okay, so I got my Mod Podge. And I've said this 1,000 times in so many projects that I work on. People they laugh at me almost because I always paint the bottom of what I'm working on, and then I put it on the image, and then sorry y'all, had a major blank out there. I paint the bottom of it, and then I paint the top of it while it's still wet. And a lot of people are like, no, you do one and wait for it to dry. I never wait for it to dry. You're going to see why. Okay, so this is where I want my images to go. Let's start off with Miss Alice. Got the canvas here. Let me get me some little space going over here. I want to have a little bit of room here. Get my junk out of the way. Okay, so we find a brush, and I want to use a brush that's semi-soft, but kind of firm. You want to be really quick, like as quick as you can with this, because the Mod Podge seems to dry a lot faster. I've got no room here. This is insane. Okay, so I'm dipping it in. Now, most of you guys would just go right here and go nuts with it. I don't do that. I actually put it on my paper. But because it's such a big paper and it's going to roll up, that's the thing about it. This paper, it's going to roll up automatically. So you want to be as quick as you can when you're applying your Mod Podge, because it starts drying really fast. I have my air vents are in the ceiling in this house, so they dry pretty quick. Let's see. See how it's starting to roll up? It'll roll like in. It's not a big deal. You still want to do it as quick as you can, though, because I mean you're working with paper here. Okay, hold on. She's rolling up like nutty now. Okay, but you want to make sure that you have all of your areas covered on it, and then it just basically turns into a sticker. And this is the part where you want to try to minimize the air. You want to minimize air as much as possible. So I'm going to have her at an angle. I'm going to have her kind of like that. And then it's kind of like the old border paper stuff you used to be able to buy like in the 90s and put on your wall. I used to border paper in my kitchen. I just actually smeared some black, but it's all good. We're going to go with it anyways. I'm going to have it like that. Okay. Then I just go back over it, go under the paper with the brush, and just start flattening it down. And it will flatten down. And I have found that it is a lot easier to do it this way than it is to paint on the canvas. Because if I mess up on my paper, all I have to do is start over. If I mess up on my canvas, we in trouble. So that's basically how I do it. And just lay it down on there. You want to make sure that it has a good seal too, all the way around it. Go under her little feet. Gently brush over the paper. Go under this way. Bring it down. Okay. You want to minimize your air bubbles as much as possible. It does make a difference when this dries. You'll have bubbles everywhere if you're not careful. You just keep filling it in until you get her on there laid down the way you want it. And then add a little bit more Mod Podge, kind of go over the top maybe. And then I just kind of go over the entire image. So it's kind of like the applique decoupage kind of steps. Okay. Do it really quickly for time purposes for you guys. And I'm going to follow these steps and get the rest of them on there, and then I will pick back up in part 2. But we have Alice on the canvas now, okay? So I'm going to stop the video, and we'll move on to part 2. When I come back, I'll have all the images on there, and then we will carry on. So I'll see you guys in part 2 in just a minute.